Welcome back, everybody. In this section, we will talk about loops. Why we need loops. I think there's not a very good note over here, and I like to read for you. Life is full of routines and repetitions. And in programming, we also do lots of repetitive tasks. In order to handle repetitive tasks in programming language, and programming languages provide actually loops. Python programming language also provide the following types of loops: the while loop and the for loop, and they are so easy and straightforward to understand. First, we will have a while loop. How to use while loop? So let's create a file, actually while loop.py. We may start from, for instance, count, or maybe I 0, and we may want to just count up to 5, like while I is less than 6. While is just a condition now. This is a condition. While I is less than, this is initialization, this is initial, and this is the condition. We can say print I, but every time we have to be incrementing by 1, unless otherwise we may face actually infinite loop. So that infinite loop actually doesn't stop by itself. Now let's run this. As you can see, we have 0 to 5. Yeah, but this, it could be, the increment could be by 1, or you can increment by 2. If you increment by 2, 0 to 4, but it doesn't include 6. So 0 to 4. This is all about while loop in Python. So if I just want to increment by 1, maybe let's go up to 101, and let's increment by 10. So you may think that 0, 10, 20, and it goes up to, yes, that's while loop. Maybe if you want to decrement from top to bottom, let's say k, for instance, our 10 for while k is less than or equal to 0, print k. And every time we have to decrement, because we want to go down from 10 to 0. Let's see. Where is the value? I think this is too much to print. Then I can just comment this out for the time being, and let's see. I hope I'm not praying. Okay, let's see. In my initial is k. K is 10, while k is less than or equal to 0. While k is less than or equal to 0. What's the value of k now? 10 is less than. No, I think this is false. So we should put it differently. While k is greater than or equal to 0, this should be. Yeah. Now let's run this again. Yes. As you can see now, I managed to print from 10 to 0 the other way instead of 0 to 1. Yeah, so we can print numbers like this. And another, last time, if you remember, we were talking about range. Do you remember the range? You can pass 10, for instance, What's the value, guys? Do you remember what you get from this? Range 0 and 10. 0 and 10, but it is not inclusive, as you can see. It's not inclusive. And you can add actually starting and step. Okay, what does that mean? For instance, you say print, instead you want to start from 1 and you want to end at 10, and the interval is actually 2. So it's going to be a bit different, as you can see. And to see the values, actually, it's better to change this using list constructor. And if you run this, it will be somehow 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So we used it, but if you just change this to 1, or if you don't have any value over there, the step is actually 1. 1, 2, 3. So if I want to produce number from 0 to 100, I may say list and then range like this. This produce actually 0 to 100. Look at it. Oh yeah. And even so easy to produce even numbers or odd numbers. If I want to produce even numbers, I can start from 0. Even numbers, actually, the interval of even numbers is 2. Then if you use 0, 2, 4, 6, something like that. I think I have to print this. Yeah, as you can see, what you see here actually is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. These all are even numbers. And if you want to make these two actually odd numbers, you just change the starting. If you start 1 and if you change the interval to 1, or if you keep it there, I think you get the same, the odd numbers again. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this way we can generate numbers so easily. So now let's print through those. For I in, for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can actually iterate through these items using for loop. So you should have the for and an iterator I, and you iterate the items. This one, and again this one, and again this one, and again this one, and again this item. So if you just write I, then you will get, you've seen, one after another. Let's multiply them by each other, and you may get something different. And if you remember, even we can just do some trick, and I times I, and we can close the string over here. Now we're doing string interpolation, and we can just also do some injecting of the values. As you can see now, I just printed out while I'm iterating, yeah? But let's just create some number using range. Yeah, because the range create already, for instance, range 101, and this create from 0 to 100. And if you just multiply this, yeah, as you can see, just I have created this. Now with actually this, let's just make it short. I mean, I can just make it up to 5 and it will be short, unless otherwise it will be too long for, yeah. Yes, great, maybe clear. Yeah. Now let's do a kind of from 10 to 0. For I in range, you should start from 10 and you want to stop at 0. So in this case, -1, because, and then decrement also -1. So this gives us from 10 to 0. Let's try it. I think for the time being, we can just comment this out and we will not be puzzled by other outputs because we don't need the other output, do we? No, we don't need. If you want to try it out by yourself, you can just uncomment. Now let's see. As you can see, it's coming from 10 to 0. Yeah. Let's see what we have over here. If there's something different. Yep. Yes. Now, for instance, if we want to break the loop, for instance, for I in range, maybe I think it would be easy for you if I show you something like this. 2, 3, 4, minus 5, 0, 8, 9. And we are looking for minus 5 in a list. And if we find it, we don't want to iterate through that list. Instead, we want to break from the loop. So if I is equal to minus 5, and then actually break. But we can just print, before that, we can just print values. Let's see what will happen. As you can see, it has been printing like 0. And then, no, I think, no, it has been printing 2. Let's just comment this out, not to confuse, okay? It has been, 2 has been printed out, 3, 4, minus 5. But after minus 5, it just broke out. But if we don't want to actually print also minus 5, we can just say, like we can print after the break. Yeah, as you can see, 2, 3, 4, because it just broke. But to skip this minus 5 and to iterate the rest, we can use the continue. I will show you continue. And what continue does actually, it just skips that value. So it skips minus 5, but it goes to 0, 8, and 9. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, 2, 3, 4, and skip the 5, then 0, 8, 9. That's the purpose of continue, to skip some items, break to break the loop. Instead of to go all the way to the end, you can break it prematurely whenever you make the condition or satisfy the condition. So we can look through any list, for instance, for countries. Do you remember our countries list? Let's bring our favorite countries. Yep, great. And now, yeah, but it would have been much better if we were working on a for loop, because it says while loop. So we can just keep this for while loop. And now we can have for loops. So py. Yeah, great. And I can bring the list of the countries. Copy over here. Now, for instance, for country in countries, yeah, print country. Oh, not just specific country. Now, you may imagine I am about to print, oh yeah, Finland, Sweden. But for the time being, let me just comment out the rest and let's just focus on this part. Yeah, as you can see, Finland, Sweden. Maybe we can also change it to uppercase, country to uppercase. If you change to uppercase, oh yeah, have you seen it? It's great. And then country So we can slice actually to just Finn, Sweden, and then just the code, the country code. Let's slice that. We can first change it to uppercase. After we change it to uppercase, we can slice the first three like this. By the way, if you don't start with 0 here, that means you are starting from 0. Oh yeah, as you can Finn, Sweden, Denmark. Can we count the number of characters each country has and then country? Yes, Finland is made of 7 characters and Sweden from 6 characters and Denmark from 7 and Norway from 6. Yep. But now if we are interested, for instance, to look for countries that have land. How many countries do you see that have land? Tell me, guys, from this list. How many countries do you think have land? Oh yeah, so our task here is actually to look for countries that have land. It is so sad that other countries actually do not have land. I don't know how they live. Anyway, so let's move on. If land in country, then print. Have you seen now? What do we print? The country. And let's see what we can get from this. Oh yeah, Finland and Iceland. So instead, actually, we can create a variable. I can call it a fancy name, country with land. Okay, it's countries with land. And I can just create an empty variable. And then I will just populate it here. Countries with land. Dot append. We have learned this a while ago. And then country. Then no need to print it here. Country. Yeah, but to check what the countries with land now should have 2 countries, and that is Finland and Iceland. Oh yeah, that's great. Now we can actually modify this. Countries without land. Okay, countries without, and I can just here without and change it here to without, but here if land not in. Not in. Now let's see. So how many countries do not have land here from this list? Guys, tell me. Yeah, 3 of the countries here in this list do not have land. Just only Finland and Iceland do have land. So let's see now, let's figure out. That's true. Sweden, Denmark, and Norway do not have land. That's crazy. Okay, now let's move on to another. Which country does have a way to do? Way. And then if way in some country, I think let's just find countries, the countries do not have way. Yeah, now I can say, I can populate this, creating a, again, countries without way. So without, oh no, don't do that. Countries without way. So you may imagine that the only country that has way is actually Norway, and the rest like Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Iceland do not have any way. So yeah, such surprise, right? Okay, great. Do you get the point, guys, what we are doing? I think that is that example for Yeah, I think it's so easy to understand the example. And it's also, the example is also related to real life conditions. And let me check if there is other more points to include, but we are about to finish the loops section. And next week, actually, we will learn about this date set tuples, sets, tuples, and dictionaries and functions, and most probably modules too. Yeah. So let's close today's topic here, but remember to work on this exercise at the bottom. They are so easy. For instance, we have done this. Yeah, to do this, I may just show you. First, you can just loop for I in range. So what will be the range? You can see the last number. Yeah, 11. So you can just print I times I, and then let's see. Oh, but that is actually another format. You may just use the F string and then I like this, because we're injecting, and then injecting the other value, and then we inject it like this. Then if you run this, oh yeah, this is what you saw there. Oh, sorry. 0 to 10, 10 by 10, you get 100. So it's very easy. Iterate through the list, Python here, using the for loop and print out the items. So easy, right? You may store this with the name. First, you store them package or Python libraries or some list. You can call them just some list. Then for item in list, just you print every of the item. And then you will have just one by one. Have you seen Python, NumPy, Pandas, Django, and Flask? And maybe now I'm asking you use loops to iterate from 0 to 100 and print only even numbers. Yeah, so what I said actually, you may say for I in range and up to 101, but we are interested if I is divisible by 2, this is how we check. If we divide a number and if the remainder is 0, then that's actually an even number. So let's see. This is how you print. Yeah. Yes, as you can see, all the even numbers from 0 to 100. Yeah, I think you should do the rest. If I do everything, you will not have task for yourself. Yeah, thank you.